Hey guys, it's Shant with CK Brick Collection and welcome to my channel. Make sure to subscribe, and if you've already subscribed, then welcome back. Today's video is on that Jurassic Park mock that you see on those two tables that I've been working on for the past year to 2 years whenever I have the time and whenever I can. And whenever I place orders and wait a couple of weeks to a month until I get the parts that I need and so on, before you know it, the months fly by, and yeah, it takes a little bit of time. But I'm gonna give you guys a proper tour of what I have built so far, and that will be the farewell for the Jurassic Park. And there are a couple of reasons why I am stopping it. It's by no means a question of determination. I don't have an issue with, maybe it's a good thing or a bad thing, but I don't have an issue with being stubborn and sticking to something and getting it done. But one of the reasons is I'm actually going to be moving soon, and it kind of makes sense to have that asset into what's the business word for that, when you turn an asset into cashing out, I guess. That's part of it. It's actually quite expensive, especially the monorail rails, and some of those parts are quite expensive. And I wanted to make the tracks for the Explorers elevated because I have monorail underneath. It was a cool idea, but it just required, expensive parts. Yeah, so that's one reason, the moving. Second reason is I have so many other mocks in mind that I want to do, and there's a lot of waiting with this one. I feel like if I recoup, well, it's not really my losses, but if I feel like I can work on smaller mocks and actually complete them. And I'm not actually going to go to conventions. This is the third reason, is although I do enjoy mocks and, I haven't really done reviews. My channel really is based on building a store, having collectible items, toys, specifically Lego, and building up my store and vlogging it and, taking you guys on the journey with us. So my father always had an expression, it's an Armenian expression. I'm not going to make this video too lengthy, but I just want to touch on this. The expression is kind of weird to translate into English, but the idea is, if you have a watermelon in your hands, how many more fruits can you carry? It's kind of weird. It makes more sense in Armenian. But yeah, you can't carry much. You got to drop something. So I feel like with growing the business should be the priority, and building the YouTube channel, and then I have my career, then I have my kids, and I have, like to go to the gym and so many hobbies. Something has to give. And if this is just going to take up half the garage, and it's going to take me 10 years to build and spending money on, I feel like I kind of had to think of my priorities. So that's one of the reasons also why I'm pulling the plug on this. I haven't decided yet if I'm gonna sell everything, like the Explorers I might keep or might sell. Yeah, those are the primary reasons. The move, the mock is too big, but I have to say, it's not all bad. This is my first big mock, and I learned a lot. I had to redo certain things, realizing that if you put a couple of plates on this side, and you've put, I don't know, 15 plates on this side and 14 plates on this side, and you don't realize at first, but then when you take a step back, whoa, you realize that something is off with your build. So yeah, there's actually a lot that I learned. I learned how to use Technic, have power functions, monorail, and just different techniques. So anyway, enough rambling. That's kind of, just wanted to give you guys a breakdown of my idea. Business first, and then smaller mocks in the future. But yeah, you guys will still see mocks on this channel. I'm not pulling the plug on mocks. I'm just pulling the plug on this massive mock. And realistically, guys, if I go to conventions, it's for selling. It makes more sense for me to sell than to feature huge mock. You guys kind of have to focus. If you can do both, kudos to you. But I mean, in my case, it makes sense to, you know, juggle less because the store is growing and it's starting to take more and more time. All right, well, let's get to the MOC. All right, here it is. This actually was not part of the map. I decided to make it kind of an, like an outpost. It was my idea. And yeah, you'd have the motorized vehicles go through this outpost, and there's the flames, you know, kind of a throwback to Jurassic Park. And yeah, actually this gate was motorized. It would go up and down, and these parts actually come off. See, this comes off. So I had put quite a bit of thought into this, but this was literally my creation. I didn't get inspired by anything. I thought it would make sense to have an outpost. And this is literally where the employees would work, and you know, gate control and so on. And there's a light in there. Let me see if I could actually remove this piece. See, there's a clock, there's a computer screen, there are your iconic orange and blue lights. Yeah, and over here it's actually close to a paddock. I think that's how you say it. And I thought it would make sense to have a feeding area. You could see right there, there's a crate. An employee could put food right there. That's it. And he has a walkie-talkie. Kind of makes sense. Water and barrel. And a couple of tools. That's the idea. Yeah, so these two elements were just on me. They weren't part of the plan or the map. But the rest kind of was. You know, you have the Explorer road, which is elevated, like I mentioned before, because I have the monorail. Actually, I would have to redo this part because the monorail system is actually quite high, if you see over here. So the Explorer would have to go above it. And that was actually one of the issues that I faced is, by the way, all these stickers, the random stickers, that's my daughter's doing. She just loves to stick them everywhere. There's a window. I use some structure pieces there. Kind of experimenting. There are some lights and another similar piece over here with the Jurassic Park logo. I did that, and yeah, so everything would have to be a little higher, which means, and this was my main problem actually, is you can see how my landscape had to be much taller too. And there's a tunnel I was building, which there's a tunnel in the movie. I have a couple of lights there. I have power functions to power up the lights. And yeah, so imagine this, all of this landscape had to be way higher, you know, so it can compensate for that height of the monorail, and have this system over here actually hidden within the landscape. So that was one, I don't want to say mistake, because I think it would have looked pretty cool. I mean, if you can imagine having an elevated, route, it kind of looks cool, especially when you get to the T-Rex paddock. And this is the T-Rex paddock here. Actually, I was supposed to have more fencing coming this way. Didn't get to it yet, but this is where the project ends. But yeah, and over here, I had worked on edge, which I made a video on. See, from far, from close, it kind of looks like a 7 on 10. From far, you know, the texture really blends in. I think it looks pretty cool for my first rock edge ever. So definitely, whatever experience I gained from this, I will take with me. And the waves. There's the baryonyx. This was supposed to be the baryonyx paddock. It's actually, that's how it's represented in the map, or on the map. This tree is totally my idea. I think I'm gonna keep this. I think it looks pretty cool to have it on the shelf, and you know, kind of reminds us of the Jurassic Park that I had early on the channel. Maybe I would add some branches. I don't know if I would modify it. I think it looks alright. I used the studs on the side technique to add some texture. Yeah, but definitely if you guys have any comments or ideas to share with me, please do so. I'm always trying to improve in my creative skills and, you know, Lego skills. So this mountain, oh my, I would have done so many different things with it. I didn't know much about texture back then. I just wanted to get height, and I kind of got desperate because I was using Duplo bricks to you know, fill the mountain. But now I know more techniques to get that height quicker. I feel like the roots are kind of made sense. Certain things kind of made sense. Different colors and textures with the leaves to make it look tropical. Some palm trees and so on, and plants, tropical plants. Fill it real well. But then I realized, wait a minute, how is T-Rex actually gonna walk if there are plants everywhere? So, but texture with the grass, it was fun to work on it. It was actually quite a bit of work. But yeah, I did learn that, you know, use a little bit of texture, but also leave empty space, because that contrast actually looks pretty good. You just don't want to have a, I guess, balance of both, especially if you're gonna have dinosaurs walking around. It kind of makes sense, or else they're just gonna knock everything over. This is my Explorer. I made a video on how I didn't go through how I built it, but I did go through where I was inspired from, and how if you guys want to build one of these Explorers, you can on Bricklink. Actually, if you check out my video on it, I do share the creator's instructions on Bricklink. You guys could check it out. Here it is. I think these came out really cool, actually. I'd make some modifications. I think he was going with a darker red. I used red. I added this wheel in the back. He didn't have it, or she, I don't know. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. Those two, I don't know if I might sell them, or I might keep them. I might keep one for sure, and maybe sell the other one. Another thing that I got to work on quite a bit. See here, I was working on a little creek. I think it came out all right. The flowers, and again that tropical feel. But I don't want to go overboard with the tropical field, because even in the jungle you do have normal trees. So we try to have a little mix of. A couple of leaves actually fell because my daughter plays here sometimes. So apparently Han and Obi-Wan and Luke were, you know, taking a stroll in Jurassic Park. But yeah, these are palm trees. Palm trees are something that I got to practice. I got to get some experience with. I actually made a video on how to build palm trees early on my channel. Yeah, so that will stay with me. Making this fence will stay with me as well. Yeah, there's the orange and blue, and that's from the movie. As far as the lights, this is actually the T-Rex's Paddock, and this is, well, there are multiple maps, and some of them display a Dilophosaurus, and some of them display Raptor. I just put the Dilophosaurus over here, right there. Yeah, and that restroom doesn't quite go there. It goes somewhere along the edge. But the Triceratops paddock was supposed to be somewhere on the northern side. So the map, if we're going to refer to the north and south, that would be north up there, and this would be south over here. And then the edge was supposed to go along. I mean, you guys can see how much work this was going to be, and the purpose of it was to display at conventions, but I'm not, you know, I'm not really going to go to conventions to display MOCs after actually I get excited with a lot of hobbies, and then I had to kind of realize that, wait a minute, I'm building a business here, so this is kind of makes more sense. But yeah, again guys, I'm gonna make more MOCs. I actually have a Scrooge one in mind that I'm gonna work on. There's the restroom. I actually made stop motion with it, and more trees. I feel like this is kind of bare. Could have had more texture and more plants. The idea is it's kind of like a mountain, but a tropical mountain with, whoop, you could see the Duplo pieces there exposed. The Duplo bricks, sorry. Yeah, you know those sandy kind of hills, mountains, that's kind of what it is. If you watch the movie, and even if you look at the map, you will see that medium nougat kind of reddish clay coloring, which is, I guess, common. If you go to Hawaii and go for a walk, and that's kind of the color you're gonna find. Yeah, a whole bunch of plants. I think I covered pretty much everything, and I did accumulate a few dinosaurs. I had a few T-Rexes which I had sold early on, but yeah, as you can see, even the restroom. We can go over there. Let's see. Whoops. All right, let's get the light over here. Even the restroom, that's totally my creation. I think I'm gonna keep it. I also made a bush right here with berries, but that was supposed to go on the Triceratops paddock because it eats the berries and gets sick, right? That was the idea from the Jurassic Park movie. But yeah, I don't know what this piece is doing here. That gray piece, I think my daughter put it there. There's the restroom, there's the toilet. And it kind of flips open. I did make my version of it because in the movie it doesn't just flip open, it actually falls apart. But this is pre-chaos. You know, the park was going to be functional, and there's the monorail right here. It goes through, so the explorers would go through the tunnel, come out, and then over here I was going to build a concrete structure actually further out. The monorail should be way out here. The track, sorry, monorail track. I keep saying monorail. Monorail track should be way out here, and the concrete structure that kind of goes down into the T-Rex paddock, because that's kind of how it looks in the movies. There's actually play on elevations, and doesn't the T-Rex actually fall? Don't quote me on this, guys. I'm just going off memory, but yeah, you'll notice that there's kind of a concrete structure near the T-Rex paddock. Yeah, and over here you can see the structure that I was actually working on. As you can see, I had a lot of ideas. There's an elevator right here, and I actually started working on the elevator, and I was going to motorize it and have it go up and then down. That's how the employees would go. See, that's where the little gate control office space is. And actually I was going to continue over here. I was going to build an outlook on top of the structure. So that was the idea. Yeah, this is the last time you guys will see this MOC. Rest in pieces, and all those pieces are gonna go into my store. So it's good news, bad news. Yeah. Alright guys, well, that's it for this video. Hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't yet, and I will see you guys in the next video.